Hello there everyone, my name is Clink and welcome back to Dark Souls. So last time we just started off the game and made our way to Firelink Shrine. Today I'd like to start with leveling up at bonfires. So in Dark Souls there's various stats, a lot of these carry over from Demon Souls. You have your health, your spell slots, stamina, strength, dexterity. Resistance is the most useless stat, by the way. It just boosts your resistances to whatever different types of damage, but I guess it can kind of have its uses, but most people probably won't really need to level this. And then you have your intelligence for sorceries and faith for miracles. My character is going to focus on quality, so I'm going to be leveling up strength and dex about equally throughout the game. But honestly, for most new players, I recommend just leveling up health for a little bit at the start, get your health bar up, but just even a little, it'll really help you out with surviving earlier on in the game. But yeah, let's just go ahead and see what items we can find around Firelink. This is your hub area for the game, so you'll be frequently coming back here to talk to different vendors and upgrade your Estus flask maybe. I think there's other places you can do that, but yeah, there's a few people we'll talk to here, but I'm actually going to go on ahead and focus more on picking up items first and just showing where the various consumable souls are. Because throughout the game you'll find stuff like this, Soul of a Lost Undead. There's going to be various tiers of this. And if you consume them, they'll give you a little bit of souls, which souls are your currency to level up. There's an elevator shaft right here. Just drop down it. You won't die. Now, with a lot of them, you will. Honestly, this can be deceiving, because most elevator shafts will kill you, but this one does not. It just takes you to some good early game equipment. The talisman, if you're doing faith. The morning star is pretty decent for some bleed damage, but I gotta be honest, I don't really like the morning star very much. And what I really want right now is these homeward bones. I'm gonna go on ahead and equip these to one of my quick items, because we're gonna do probably the most dangerous part here. A lot of new players will find themselves over here, and you really don't want to end up over here. This is the graveyard. These skeletons are very dangerous at this stage of the game. They will deal a lot of damage to you, as you can see, and I am just dead. Wow. Yeah, well, I'm not going for like a deathless playthrough or anything, so it's really a suicide mission to come over here. You should not, but there is good items over here that are worth picking up, and that's why I'm coming over here, just to show them. But this is not the way you're supposed to go. Very common mistake people make when starting out on this game. There's another soul right here if you want to pick that up. And have they all been Souls of Lost Undead so far? No, we did get a large one. I think that was the one on the corpse right there that I picked up right before I died. But when you do die, you'll leave a blood stain that has all the souls you had on you within it. If you die again before reaching it, it will disappear and you'll lose all of those souls, which can be a little bit punishing. But it's an interesting system that works quite well for the most part, really. I really want to avoid the big one getting up, but he is up anyway. But this is going to be the Zweihander. This is a wonderful strength weapon. Probably the first Ultra Greatsword class weapon most players will encounter. We cannot wield this yet, but we probably will be able to at some point. I was debating using it for this playthrough, and I still somewhat am, but I think I'm going to go with a different weapon that can be acquired just a little further in. It's going to be after the first main boss. But yeah, that's pretty much everything in the graveyard. We picked up the winged spear, which is a decent weapon as well, and the binoculars, which are going to have one very specific use later on in the game that is of utmost importance, I promise. And that is really the last item in this chunk of the Firelink Shrine that I wanted to get, so we'll go on ahead and sit at the bonfire to look at some of this. So cracked red eye orbs, you can evade with these. Fire bombs are good to just throw at enemies. They're kind of like grenades. Well, not really, because they don't have a timer, but They do some fire damage. It's pretty good at the start. Lloyd's Talismans. These are mostly a PvP item, but they do have a specific use I'll show later. Your consumable souls, which if you picked all these up, you can go on ahead and use them and probably level up again. Yeah, so we'll go on ahead and put another point into vitality. And what else did we get? Binoculars, humanities. So you'll see that number in the top left next to my health and stamina. That's my humanity meter. You can use these to fully restore your health bar, but these are permanently consumable. Humanity is a stat that you can increase. Right now we're in a hollowed state, but if we're human, we can reverse our hollow to become human. Did I say if I'm human? If I have humanity, I can reverse my hollowing. It costs 1 humanity to do so, and this will allow you to summon other players, but it also opens you up to get invaded for PvP. The other things I'm going to show are actually down here. There's this kind lady. She cannot speak, but she will reinforce your Estus Flask once you get the items to do so, which we're actually going to get one of those right now. You don't need the Master Key for this. You don't need anything. You just come down this elevator, and it'll be a little bit of a walk, and there's some somewhat dangerous enemies you have to get past, but it's a really helpful item to get at the start. You'll also notice I have 10 Estus Flask. I pointed out last time you'll always have 5, but if you kindle, you can increase it. The Firelink Shrine bonfire is already kindled because there's a firekeeper near it. That's the lady that can't speak. So it's a good spot to have 10 Estus Flask from if you need it. But yeah, down here is going to be the New Londo Ruins. I picked up that one soul. I think it's a Proud Knight? Oh, Nameless Soldier. There's also an NPC blacksmith down here. We can talk to him.
You haven't lost your head. And more importantly, you're free. How on earth? Well, I shouldn't pry. I'm Ricky of Vinheim. I was once an established smith, though. Look at me now. Can you believe it? What is it? Have you? Oh no. Don't worry. I've no intention of escape. It's safe here. Can't bear the thought of going hollow out there. Although, I must admit, I've not much to occupy myself. How about this? I could forge your weapons, albeit with rather minimal tools. I'll show you what made me the best in Venice.
So yeah, he can modify and reinforce your weapons if you have the materials for it. I'm not really going to be using him at all, but Rickert is down here if you want to use him, and you happen to get some materials like right at the start, but chances of that are pretty slim. Yeah, we're gonna come down here. I'm gonna get the Homeward Bones ready, because we're just gonna bone back up to Firelink Shrine. So essentially, New Londo, this is an area we'll come to a lot later on in the game, but over there to the right, that is one of the items to upgrade the Estus Flask. So it's just right here. You will have to avoid a few of these ghosts. You can't really hurt them. So for now, just run straight over to it. Be very careful on this walkway. It's very narrow. If you fall, you will die. Homeward Bone. And there we go. Not too bad. You'll pick up a Firekeeper Soul. And these are used to upgrade the Estus Flask. Most players will probably find 3 of these on their first playthrough. You can get 7 of them. However, I really only recommend using 5, maybe 6 if you do it right at the end. But go on ahead and reinforce the Estus Flask +1, and that'll go on ahead and give us more healing out of the flask. So each flask will heal more once you upgrade it. And I'll talk to the NPCs for a little bit now.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the Undead Asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the Undead Church. The other is far, far below. in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
Yeah, this is the Crestfallen Warrior. He kind of offers you advice. He's a bit of a voice to tell you where to go, if you keep talking to him.
Good face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
He should tell you that you should go up those stairs and through the aqueduct.
What? Well, there are collected
We'll talk about restoring humanity ourselves.
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever.
Oh, I guess that's all of his dialogue. All right.
Hmm? Oh, that's
Oh,
all
there we go.
need. Well, one of the bells is up above in the undead church, but the lift is broken. You'll have to climb the stairs up the ruins and access the undead burg through the waterway. The other bell is back down below the undead burg, within the plague-infested Blight Town. But I'd die again before I step foot in that cesspool.
So yeah, the main goal of the game at this point is really just to ring those 2 bells of awakening. It's what's known as the Undead Pilgrimage, I guess. I'm going to probably talk about lore as much as I can. I'm not the biggest lore expert when it comes to these games. I know the most about Demon Souls, but I'll try my best with some of it, but I'll probably get a lot wrong.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Firelink. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible. Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you. Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you? Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods. Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Yeah, so Petrus, we can learn a gesture from him, the shrug gesture, which is kind of cool. And we can also get some miracles after talking to him and joining his covenant. If you're doing a faith character, these are your first miracles you can really get. Homeward, great spell to get if you can get the souls for it, just because it's essentially a free homeward bone.
Come again.
But that's all I'm really going to talk to him about for now. So yeah, he gave us the Way of White Covenant. That's the first of 9 covenants you can find within the game. You want to be careful about joining them in Dark Souls 1 in particular, but since we weren't in one for now, it doesn't really matter all that much, so I'm pretty alright with that. But yeah, let's head on over towards our first major area. This is going to be your first big enemy encounter of the game. You'll have to learn to deal with quite a few enemies that will ambush you, but one of the big things to learn about Dark Souls is that you need to pull enemies out and try to get them in one-on-one scenarios, because fighting enemies in groups can be quite difficult, especially because there's a lot of narrow walkways in this game. I think that's the first enemy I've backstabbed, which is kind of surprising for me. I do a lot of backstabs. Essentially just getting behind an enemy will allow you to do one, so they're very powerful. They do a lot of damage, and they are quite easy to pull off on a lot of enemies in Dark Souls 1, just because you can hold up your shield and block, and then just get behind them. There's a lot of attacks in this game where you can just kind of walk around them, and you'll be fine, much like in Demon Souls. Let's go ahead and pick up this soul right here, and yeah, I do want to show it. I'm not going to show absolutely everything, by the way. This isn't going to be like a full 100% run. It's not going to be a full walkthrough or anything. In fact, I will probably stop the tutorializing after this part, really, and we're just going to really play the game and go maybe talk some lore, talk about like the world design and the bosses and whatnot. But over there's the Ring of Sacrifice. You do have to make this kind of scary jump, though, because if you fall, you die. Equipping a Ring of Sacrifice into one of your 2 ring slots, which the old witch's ring I started with is in there. That'll give you, it'll break after you die, but it will prevent your souls from disappearing for that one death, so it's kind of nice. And yeah, let's go into the aqueduct here, kill this rat, because I hate the rats in this game, and get the soul of the lost undead. Rats, by the way, are a good way to farm humanities if you're ever in need of them because you want to kindle bonfires or play with friends or something. Which is kind of interesting, but the rats feed off of like dead corpses within the game, so they end up taking the humanity. And yeah, this is Undead Burg. This is going to be the first major area. My goal for today is to just get to the first bonfire here. Let's go ahead and lure this guy out because there's another one off to the left that you don't want to have ambushing you. We'll just go ahead and come over here anyways, since he just wants to throw his fire bombs. Go ahead and poke him with an R2. I should also mention the different damage types. So our longsword here, the R1 does slash damage, but the R2 does thrust. There's also blunt damage. All very good for different use cases, although I personally find blunt weapons to be the best ones, and probably slash to have the fewest uses. But a lot of weapons use slash damage, and that's not to say slash damage is bad at all. There's still plenty of good weapons that use slash damage. I'm going to be using one, so go ahead and take out these 2 hollows. Just want to get a couple extra items around here that can be of some use. Mainly the consumable souls. I'm a bit of a fiend for the things. Because really, if you just pick up consumable souls and use the souls you get from bosses for leveling in this game, you can still reach a pretty decent level to beat the game at. So I recommend picking up and using your consumable souls. And I just wanted to show this little back way as well, because why not? It's more stuff. But yeah, my main plan for this run is we're going to kill all of the bosses. We're going to see all of the areas to some extent, and, you know, just play through the general game. And hi, buddy, where'd you come from? Go ahead and take him out. But yeah, it'll be a fun playthrough. Like I said, Dark Souls is one of my favorite games, so we're gonna see it all. Played this game. I don't even know how many times I've played this game. This might be my most replayed game other than Terraria. We'll go on ahead and see a dragon who's going to just fly away off to that bridge, which, keep that bridge in mind. We're actually going to be going up there. So Firelink was down back that way. We're heading up towards the bridge, which is going to, like, loop around over to there. That's one of the interesting things about Dark Souls. Like, you see all this stuff, and some of it's not actually just background dressing. It's going to be places that you can walk to from here. It's very impressive how well this world is put together, honestly. Really don't want to get hit by the arrows. And we're pretty much at the next bonfire, thankfully. But I am going to show... Oh, God, this guy wants to... If I could not climb off the wall, that'd be nice. Gone ahead and open the door and just grab the wooden shield right here before we do it. We'll go over there in the next video, probably. Do a little bit of backtracking. Yeah, here is the bonfire of Undead Burg. Let's go on ahead and level up before ending off, which I think I'm going to go on ahead and start leveling up my strength, because I am going to need it to be a little leveled up to use the weapon I want. So, yeah, with that, I'm going to end this video here, and I'll see you guys next time, where we'll take on the rest of Undead Burg. Bye-bye.